Good morning, family. This is Ricky, and welcome to Hope for Today. For those of you who are church folks, have you ever listened to someone maybe in a small group setting? Maybe you're at a special service where someone was sharing their story of overcoming something that was pretty tough. Maybe it's your preacher or pastor saying some sort of wonderful illustration or bringing something to bear from the scripture where somebody was in a real hard moment, but they put their trust in God and they came through it. How did that make you feel? It probably encouraged you to believe that if God could do it for them, God can do it for me too. And that's what I want to talk to you about today, the power of rehearsing God's great achievements in the lives of others as encouragement to your own life as well. Hebrews chapter 11 says, now faith, verse 1, is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen, for by it the people of old received their commendation. You know, the writer of Hebrews here is writing to Jews who have become Christians, who are starting to go through real hardships and persecution, so much so that they're tempted about reverting back to Judaism. In other words, laying down Christianity, because they're basically saying, I didn't sign up for all this. And I want to talk to somebody who's going through some tough spots in your life, and you're still with Christ, but you're thinking to yourself, I didn't sign up for all this. Friend, I want to encourage you, but I also want to throw caution to you as well. Signing up to do life with Jesus doesn't necessarily make life easier. In fact, in many ways, it can sometimes make life harder. This is the case of the apostles. This is the case of the disciples. This can be the case of you and me. When I was out there living for the world, the devil barely messed with me at all. Now that I'm living for Jesus, oh my goodness, anybody smelling what I'm stepping in? And it's just a reality. And if you're not careful, you'll be tempted to lay Christ down. But I want to encourage you that life may not be easier when I come to Jesus, but I declare it's better. It's better. Why? Because I've got a peace that passes understanding. It's better because I'm knowing him more and thereby making him known. It's better because, as Jesus says, there's a friend that sticks closer than a brother. So if we're in that moment where it's just like, man, I'm feeling like giving in the towel, I didn't sign up for this, what do I do? Well, the writer of Hebrews is saying sometimes that when you can't see evidence of God's hand moving in your life today, pay attention to all the things he did yesterday. Enter in Hebrews 11. We call it the Hall of Faith chapter because the writer goes through Old Testament hero to Old Testament hero saying, by faith, Abel did this. By faith, Abraham did this. By faith, Moses. By faith, Joshua. By faith, Samson. And all these great heroes of the faith, so as to encourage some saints who are struggling today to remind them of God's track record on yesterday. And I want to encourage you in your life when you're struggling to see God's hand, struggling to find encouragement as to what's going on in your life today. I dare you to tell a story to yourself about what God did in your life yesterday. I'm in one of those moments now where it's just like, man, this today seems so hard, and this challenge and this thing I got to do, and that thing I got to do. And sometimes I have to tell myself that, you know what, we've been here before where I didn't know exactly how we're going to get through to the other side. And as I look back on all that God did yesterday, I find encouragement to trust that God's going to show up today. I dare you to write down today all the things he figured out yesterday, and let that be encouragement and faith stirring for what you're expecting him and need him to do today. And that's hope for today. I'll see you next time.